I lived up here for about a decade. It's where I met Valerie, the other owner of Duluth Cider, and my wife. And we got married here. You know, this was a huge part of turning us into the people we are. Really is the good people of Duluth, the culture of Duluth. It's just there's no place like it. Valerie and I, we've always enjoyed brewing beer since before we met each other, and then it turned out that was something that we just really enjoyed doing together. We brewed all the beer for our wedding, and you know, we just really enjoyed making the product and inviting people over to enjoy it. So when we moved out to Massachusetts together, we met some cider makers out there, and Valerie actually started working at a cidery out there, and it was kind of an epiphany for us. Like, wow, cider can be really good if it's done right. And you know, it's not something we had seen locally here in Duluth ever. So it was a new experience for us. We dove into cider. We started making it at home. And one night we were both sitting at the bar at the cidery where she was working, and we were just sipping whatever cider we were having that night. And at the same time, we had the same thought somehow, which was, why is no one making cider in Duluth? Like, it didn't make any sense. And we just went about our business, and slowly, for both of us, that thought grew into someone should be making cider in Duluth, and eventually into maybe we should move home and make cider in Duluth. You know, it's one thing to make cider at home, and it's another thing to make a whole bunch of cider so you can invite the city in to drink it. And the basics are all pretty much the same, but obviously you have to do things way differently. We had some great mentors in the process. Far From the Tree Cider out in Salem, Massachusetts, that's where Valerie was working. We got really close with them. And while we were still living out there, you know, 3.5 years ago we started planning this. While we were still living there, we actually brought Christian, our friend, who is now our production manager, out to train with us. So the three of us kind of got trained in on doing the larger scale production. And you know, the folks out at Far From the Tree have been incredibly helpful. And also locally, we've gotten a lot of help and insight from Bent Paddle, from Vikra, from Duluth Coffee, just in the basics of production, of business, everything. I mean, Duluth, you know, Duluthians take care of each other, so it is totally like a family out here. Ursa Minor just opened up a block away, and through the whole summer, you know, we'd stop by their place after we got done here, they'd stop by here after they got done, and we'd sample each other's product, and you know, we'd commiserate about the blisters all over all of our hands from scraping paint or whatever we were all doing. And you know, and then the folks over at Bent Paddle, and even outside of, you know, this industry, there's Chris Benson at Frost River, there's Tom Hansen, owner of Duluth Grill, OMC, Corktown, and his other upcoming ventures, and they've been phenomenally helpful in just making sure we're set up to succeed, making sure we as people even are doing well, which is, I mean, out in Boston, great place to live, but the business atmosphere is much different than right here in Lincoln Park, where it is like a family. We have a big range of ciders. I think a lot of people, I know when I first tried craft cider, I was not familiar with anything other than the sweet stuff, which you can find, you know, at the liquor store. And a lot of people are really into sweet ciders, and we've got sweet ciders, but a lot of people are not. A lot of people are looking for the drier cider, or maybe a more experimental, less straightforward cider. We've got a little something for everyone. We're starting out with 6 ciders on tap. We're gonna have a sweet, a few semi-sweets, a few semi-dries, and one that's very dry and is my personal favorite, called Zenith. We've also got 3 hopped ciders, all of them single hopped, and you'll find that when you taste them, totally different worlds in each cider because of the different hops. The flavors really come out differently. We've also got a chai cider that is perfect for this time of year. It is delicious, it's full-bodied, it's really smooth and very, very much a good combination of chai and apple. And coming out really soon, we're going to have a special holiday cider, and I don't want to give too much away on that yet, but I'm really excited about it. We're going to be serving pints, short pours in 5-ounce glasses as well, and then you can also get a flight of 4 of those 5-ounce pours, so you can try a whole bunch of different ciders in one sitting, and whatever your favorite is at the end of the night, you can get a growler of it to go, or a couple growlers, and go home and share it with the family, bring it to Thanksgiving dinner, whatever, drink it yourself. All of our production is on site. Right now we're in the tap room. Behind this wall over here is the production area, and that's where all the magic happens. We've got the most talented team of cider makers here. We've got Christian, who comes from a biology background. He's got his master's in biology and was actually a science teacher before this. We've got Matt, who spent the last decade working at vineyards and cideries out in New York State, in the Adirondacks. We've got Valerie, who her background is mostly in wine, and that's her passion. And she worked for years at the cidery in Massachusetts. So all of these influences come together to really shape our unique cider, and it all happens in this building. 100% of the apples that you're going to taste in this cider, all grown in Minnesota, from around the state. Valerie and I spent time traveling through France and Switzerland and Italy, and one thing we noticed when we were talking to cider makers and winemakers over there was the pride they have in their regional product. They're not just trying to ship in to try to like punch out as much quantity as possible. Each region has something that they're like, this is ours. Everybody knows this is what we make here, and we're proud of it. And we thought Minnesota should have that. Northern Minnesota should have a cider that they can look at and be like, this is ours right here. You gotta try it. You're visiting, you gotta try this. We're really proud of this. So we want to stick to Northern Minnesota, you know, reach out next year. We're gonna reach out into the Bayfield area for sure, because it'd be foolish not to. But we're creating a regional cider that Midwesterners can call their own. We're starting out tap room only while we zero in on our recipes and get feedback and like, what do you like, what do you want to see more of, and we're over the winter going to be expanding our distribution outward just to Duluth, and being on tap at a few select places and just kind of growing from there. Our goal though is just to make the best cider we can, and that's priority number one.
Who came up with that logo? What's behind it?
I actually designed that, and it was the 4th logo that I took a stab at. The other ones I spent hours on each one, and they were really elaborate, and then I was like, yeah, I did an apple. So sketched it out. I was like, oh,